Talking Habs news for May 3rd, 2022. The Laval Rocket make the playoffs, and we have I have the playoff dates. Two players, Kyle Clifford and Jared Spurgeon, receive a one-game suspension for Clifford, and Spurgeon a fine. We'll talk about that, and the Guy Lafleur funeral, and that's all right here at Talking Habs. Hey, everybody, I'm Rick. Welcome to Talking Habs, where you get your daily fix of Bleu Blanc Rouge. All right, so I've got a bunch of news here for you today, and we're going to start off with Mattias Norlinder. Mattias Norlinder will join the Laval Rocket for the playoff run. I'm not sure when he's going to join the team, but we're going to get to next is the playoff schedule for the Rocket. So the Rocket finished third in their division, and they avoided having to play a play-in round. I don't know of how many games to advance to round one. Round one starts Friday, May 6th and May 7th in Syracuse versus the Crunch. The series shifts over to Laval May 12th and May 14th. And if there's a fifth game needed, because it's a 5-game series, best of 5, on May 17th in Syracuse. So that's only if necessary. But I guess by the same token, game 4 on the 14th is also if necessary, because it's a best of 3. So Mattias Norlinder will join the team sometime between now and May 6th, I would imagine. And I'm sure a few days before, so he can get into practices and stuff. Next, 2 of Montreal's 2021 draft picks have just wrapped up fantastic QMJHL seasons. Of course, I'm talking about Joshua Roy and Riley Kidney. Roy played his last game of the regular season on Sunday, and his hat trick versus the Val-d'Or Foreurs gave him 51 goals, 68 assists for 119 points. And he finished 3 points ahead of the next guy in the scoring list, and giving him the QMJHL scoring championship outright. Riley Kidney wasn't far behind Roy with 100 points. He had 30 goals and 70 assists for that 100 points. He was the QMJHL assist leader. Joshua Roy was only 2 assists behind, but Kidney was the assist leader. At 18, both of them, this season, neither player is eligible to play in the AHL next season. They will play their 19-year-old season in the Q, after which they can make the jump to the AHL or even the NHL as teenagers, or go back to the Q, I believe, as a 20-year-old. And then after, I think, 20 years old, that's all you can. You can't go higher or longer than that in the QMJHL. All right, so as I mentioned, today was the funeral for Guy Lafleur. So I wrote, what I'm going to read now, I wrote just before it started, and I'm going to show you a list of the people that were expected to, or were confirmed to be there. So the state funeral for Guy Lafleur will take place today, and happened at 10 a.m. this morning, although the official time was 10:30 when the procession started from the Bell Center, and I think it was around 11 when the actual thing started. There's and I don't have proof of this, but there was supposed to be an RCAF CF-18 Hornet flyby at around 12:45. I was watching. Either it didn't fly by or they didn't pan up to show it at all. So I did not see it. So as I wrote here, I'm writing this before 10 a.m. and I'm going to update it after it's over, which I did. But before that, I've got a list of the confirmed attendees. When this came out on Twitter, a lot of people were complaining, well, Marc Bergevin's not there, blah, 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 blah. And Steve Shutterwood, blah, 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 blah. Now, as far as Bergevin has confirmed that he was there. So anybody mad at Marc Bergevin for not showing up? Well, you're wrong. He showed up. Now, Steve Shutt, I'm not positive, but I thought I saw him as one of the pallbearers leaving the cathedral, and because they had 2 sets to go out of the cathedral and then into the in and out of the hearse. I thought he was one of them on the in the cathedral. I could be wrong. It's hard with the masks, so maybe I'm not right there. But Bergevin was there, and some of the people that weren't on the list were there. These were just the ones that were confirmed at this point. You can see the politicians, Gary Evilman there, Then former players, Réjean Hull, Yvan Cormier, Guy Carbonneau, Damphus, Lambert, Mondu, Mario Tremblay, Boo, Chris Nyland, of course, Larry Robinson, beautiful speech by Larry Robinson. Steve Penny was there, Doug Jarvis, Patrick Waugh, nice speech by Patrick Waugh, a little long, but really it was a nice speech. Peter Mahovlich, Steve Bégin, Sergio Momesso, and it could have been Sergio Momesso that was the pallbearer that I thought was Steve Shutt. They both have the bald head and the hair like me, and I think it was Steve Shutt, but it could have been Momesso. Frankie Bouillon was there. Pierre Bouchard was there. I think he was a pallbearer. I'm not sure exactly where, but he's on my list. They switched them off. They did a couple of pairs of them or sets of them. Brisebois, Brunet, Ciccone, Ronald Corey, Peter Dallariva, if you're a Montreal guy from way back, or girl, the old Alouettes, Peter Dallariva was there. Ken Dryden was there. I think he was one of the pallbearers. Jarvis, Keane, Muller came back for it. Jean Perron, Luc Robitaille, Stefan Quintal, Joe Sakic, Daryl Sittler, Glenn Healy. I don't know where the tie is there for that. Jake Allen, the whole team. The only one not on the list is Sam Montembeault, but maybe he just hadn't confirmed, but he was there. I don't know. Don't come down on Monty for that because we don't know. But the whole team was there. Gorton and Hughes and Marty St. Louis. And Shea Weber was there. So anybody coming down on Shea Weber? Shea Weber was there. All right. Moving on. We'll get to the rest of it very soon. Cap overage penalties from this season for Montreal will be applied to the cap next season. Montreal had spent to the cap this season, right? So, therefore, they will have to apply the bonuses that are paid out to Nick Suzuki, Cole Caulfield, Alex Romanov, and Jordan Harris, and those come to a total of $1.135 million. So, since Montreal had no cap space left to cover these bonuses, they have to apply the overage to next season's cap of $82.5 million because it's going up $1 million, leaving them with $81.367 million to start next season. So it's not devastating by any means, but it could hurt a bit in the long run. Although in a rebuilding season, I don't think it's going to be a problem really at all. And considering with uncertainty with Carey Price, he might be on the LTIR and everything's fine that way. Okay, so I have this article from, I found it online. One of the mags that I read. It's about the Toronto Maple Leafs playoff futility. And I just, me, I gotta have this here. When was the Maple Leafs' last Stanley Cup win? Because I don't get enough Maple Leafs fans coming into my live streams and for not being invited to do this and, trolling. Let's just say nicely trolling. So I feel fine doing this. The one major takeaway from going over the Maple Leafs Stanley Cup history is that they must have a strong fan base. Yeah, and they're crazy too. Not everyone, but a lot of them. That is because this team has been a tragedy to root for over the last 60 years. The last time Toronto fans experienced glory was on May 2nd, 1967. I'm 59 years old. I was 4. That was the day that the Maple Leafs beat the Montreal Canadiens 3-1 in Game 6 to win their 13th Stanley Cup. 13, that's all they got. Little would anyone know that they would be stuck at that lucky number 13 for the next 6 decades. It is by far the longest drought in NHL history, with the Panthers second at 24 seasons. Look at that difference. Things haven't been great in recent years either. The Leafs have only won a single playoff series since 2004. So all you Leafs fans who come into my comments and the Habs don't make the playoffs this year and missed the playoffs entirely in 10 of the last 16 seasons. Suffice to say, life as a Maple Leafs fan must be hard, and a lot of them are deserving of that. The odds to win Stanley Cup, for those Toronto fans looking for this losing streak to end, this might be the best chance the Leafs had in years. For starters, they won more games, 54, this season than any year in their 100-year history. As a result, the Maple Leafs are listed at plus 1,000 to win the Stanley Cup. Toronto is also at plus 500 to win the Eastern Conference, and minus 115 to win their first round series against Tampa Bay. Seems like if they get her out of the first round, then they have their odds went down a lot just to get out of the first round, which I don't think they will. I was wrong, which I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about that. I don't have to do it here. I had to do that. All right, let's get back to Guy Lafleur's funeral. So beautiful speeches to open it up by Jeff Molson, Yvan Cournoyer. Just great to see Yvan Cournoyer, and it was a beautiful speech by Cournoyer. Larry Robinson, who made a really good joke at the end, saying how Guy and I don't know what the other player was. Guy and I think Jean Beliveau are up in heaven playing for the team up there. He says, I hope they're not looking for another big defenseman to join them. And then he left, and he rest in peace, Guy. Little levity, nothing wrong with that. Guy Carbonneau, another really nice speech talking about how he was inspired by Guy as an 11-year-old. Patrick Roy, to me a bit long, but I wasn't surprised for Patrick Roy, but a nice speech, a good speech by Patrick Roy. Guy's son Martin, a really nice speech, and his sister Lise, a really beautiful speech by his sister Lise, not his wife Lise, his sister Lise. And then Jeanette Renaud sang a song called L'Essentiel. I don't really know the song, but it was good to see Jeanette Renaud out there. I think my grandmother, when Jeanette Renaud was like 18, my grandmother, Jeanette Renaud came to work where my grandmother was working. They worked in the same office, and she got to know her and always said great things about Jeanette Renaud. What a beautiful person, as beautiful a person as her voice. And she has a beautiful voice and still does, and did a marvelous job singing. I know she loved Guy and all the Habs, and it was just nice to see Jeanette Renaud there. And then the boring religious stuff happened. So blah 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 blah. Bullshit. And that. And then the pallbearers, they carried the casket out. So they had pallbearers inside the cathedral to get to the door, and then from the door to the limo, they switched up. In no particular order, but from all of the group that were pallbearers. So Martin Lafleur and his brother, and I don't know his other son's name, but the two boys, Yvan Lambert, Jacques Laperriere, and either Steve Shutt or Sergio Momesso, whichever one. I know it's likely to have been Momesso, but I thought it was Shutt. Réjean Houle, Ken Dryden carrying from the hearse to the cathedral and then back. Pierre Bouchard, Yvan Cournoyer, I think leaving the Bell Center, Yvan Cournoyer was doing that. Guy Lapointe at the same time, and Mario Tremblay. There were others that I didn't recognize, but there were a lot. And, it was a really nice ceremony. They gave him a great send-off. The speeches were beautiful. And I just, it was a very appropriate send-off for Guy Lafleur. It was a national funeral, a state funeral, and he deserved every minute of it. Now, back to the Leafs. Just so people don't think I'm running away from my Leafs prediction of them being swept by Tampa, I'm not. I was wrong. I got it wrong. Hey, no series is over after one game. So I may have been wrong about a sweep, but the pain of another first-round series loss is coming for you, Leafs fans. The total collapse of the Leafs is coming. Now, speaking of the Leafs Kyle Clifford, a brain-dead hit, receives a 1-game suspension, and to me, that should have been a 2-game suspension because the other guy overall wasn't hurt, but for his hit on Ross Colton against the boards, he's coming down the skating, the guy standing against the board, and he just, boom. The guy can't see, Leafs fans trying to say, oh, look, he turned into the boards. He didn't know the guy was coming down there. How could he done that on purpose? So Kyle Clifford, with just a ridiculous, stupid brain dead. It's a brain dead Leafs goon. Gets a 1-game suspension. Speaking of goons, the Wild's Jared Spurgeon, who I think it was Dvorak earlier in the season, headshot on Dvorak, gets a $5,000 fine for his vicious cross-check to the ankle of Blues player Pavel Buchnevich as he was on his knees on the ice, looking around, and Spurgeon, they had some kind of a collision, and Spurgeon sort of getting up on his ankle, pushes it right down to the ice. Lucky he didn't break it or even hurt Buchnevich much, and that's luck if you ask me. So that kind of shit is only for the purpose of possibly injuring a player. That's the only reason the guy does that, and was a definite suspendable offense. But the dopes at Dops gave him a $5,000 fine, the maximum amount that's allowable under the collective bargaining agreement. Anyways, when that first happened with Dvorak and Spurgeon, and I did a video, and people saying, no, he's not like that. He does not. He didn't like that. He's not dirty. You're wrong. I don't think I'm wrong. Right now, it's the second time, without a doubt, for Spurgeon. And that's vicious, and it's horrible. Do I really care about the Blues? I don't have any bias there, Blues or Wild. As a matter of fact, I picked the Wild to win. But that's not called for by anybody. And I hate to see that. So, as you can tell. And that's it. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Really appreciate that. And leave a comment in the comment section as well. Any of these stories, what you think, let me know. And that's it. So stay safe till next time. Peace out, y'all. And thanks for watching this video. And look, that video seemed to have popped up over there while I was talking. Why don't you check that out? Appreciate that. Thanks. Ciao, everybody.